Loyalty. What does one think when they hear the word loyalty? One tends to think about allegiance to your country, your family, your friends. What about when I add the word program to it? Loyalty programs. When one thinks of them, people tend to think about miles or points. Loyalty programs are essentially about loyalty to brands. I've been working in the loyalty industry for about 5 years now, and I don't see them the same way as most consumers do. By the end of this talk, I hope to make you see them a little bit like I do. Firstly, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on the birth of loyalty programs. In the 18th century, US retail merchants started giving copper-branded tokens to customers along with their purchases. They could use these tokens to then redeem it for goods from those same merchants at a later time. And thus, the first loyalty program was born. Fast forward to the 19th century, into the mid-20th century, US merchants like Green Shields started to give out stamps to customers in the same form. These allowed merchants to ramp up production, and at one point, Green Shields issued 3 times as many stamps than the US Postal Service. Soon to follow was S&H, Betty Crocker, various other department stores. The benefit of giving stamps to customers was that copper tokens were costly and that stamps could be placed on packaging that could be later shelved at supermarkets or hypermarkets. It wasn't until 1981 that American Airlines launched its frequent flyer program that the digital revolution set into motion what loyalty programs look like as we know them today. Since the birth of modern information systems, these have been quickly used to leverage data and customer information into creating comprehensive profiling of customers that delve into customer behavior. This created a wealth of insight that allowed loyalty programs to effectively target customers on a very personalized and granular level. Fast track to 2008. The rise of artificial intelligence and the growth of mobility solutions, aka mobile applications and sensor tracking. Loyalty programs highly benefited by applying these solutions to customers as they can start to track customers along a wider customer journey. They started to be able to understand the life of customers, watching, learning, adapting, and retargeting in a seemingly unnerving way. Let me give you an example. In 2016, a loyalty program that I came across in Turkey that had been integrated into multiple sectors, retail, cars, food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, started tracking customer behavior and leveraged AI in order to start targeting customers with personalized promotions. This program's team used modern AI and systems features integrated into mobility and sensors. They managed to figure out that one of their customers was pregnant. The only issue was they figured it out before her husband even knew she was pregnant. And they sent her a personalized promotion that freaked the customer out because she didn't know what to make of it. Loyalty programs are taking it a step further. They're using AI and machine learning to create predictive algorithms to be able to predict behavior before it even happens. So this program goes about tracking your actions all the time and as many touch points as it can. This can create scenarios where they know when you're going to go take your ski trip this year. They know where you're going to go. They know who you're likely to go with. They know what you're likely to buy before you go. So let me take you back to 2009 for a minute, when a particular government took notice of loyalty programs and how effective they were in rewarding customer behavior deemed positive by businesses. This effectiveness of changing consumers' behavior according to the goals of the business was no small feat, especially when this can be done at a level where artificial intelligence was doing most of the work, and it could be scaled to target masses of people if you can integrate as many touch points as a business loyalty program typically would, if not more. Thus was born the first known government loyalty program in China, the social credit system. China has created the social credit system to score citizens' reputation in a nominal figure for every Chinese citizen, business, and even governmental branches. Instead of getting loyalty points in a business to redeem for goods, a Chinese citizen's loyalty currency by the social credit system was their social credit system score. This score goes up for things like donating blood, donating to charity, volunteering for community service, and this score goes down for things such as jaywalking, playing loud music, eating in rapid transits, making reservations at a hotel and then ditching those reservations. And this score has real life implications on citizens. As of 2019, 26 million airline tickets and 6 million high-speed rail tickets were denied to people deemed untrustworthy, ergo a negative social credit system score, to Chinese citizens. It can be taking up to 5 years of positive activities to be removed from this blacklist. Some parents' kids have been denied admission into private schools due to their score. Some religious minorities have been persecuted due to their religious practices that the state deems negative or not in line with the values of the Chinese government. And this system is linked to the bank, it's linked to travel, it's linked to CCTV around the whole country, where they can recognize your face and adjust your score based on what you're up to. They know what you do, they know where you go, they know who you go with, and that's all contributing to your score. Let's take the example of the loyalty program I mentioned earlier in Turkey that has developed predictive algorithms into their programs and see what happens if the social credit system applied something of the same. They can predict what your score is going to be based on your parents, your family members, your schooling, your behavior thus far, your habits, your neighborhood. This system would then present a recommendation to take preemptive actions to change one's behavior and change course to a more favorable one as viewed by the government. Now, you might think that this is something prevalent among communist or authoritarian style states like China, but that's where you're wrong. China wasn't the first to develop this. Chile, during the Pinochet dictatorship in the 1970s, developed something called the Directory of Commercial Information, which was essentially the same thing, where they would score citizens based on their behaviors. Luckily, some legal measures were taken by citizens to push back on this system by essentially banning the use of this score in determining access to medical attention. And then the Pinochet regime fell apart altogether. But it is making a comeback in countries like Germany, Russia, the USA, Venezuela, the UK. The difference is, in functional democracies, the citizen has the power and the right to be able to push back on these policies. But the question is, will they? Thank you.